Hey everyone. So I wanted to do a breastfeeding update because I have made it to month 5. We have been breastfeeding for 5 months now, and I'm very proud of myself. I should label this video breastfeeding my struggles, and I think I just might do that, or either the good, the bad, and the ugly, because I want to tell the truth about breastfeeding. And this video is not to say that this is how every experience is going to be, because I don't know. I know my sister's experience was not the same as mine, but I do know other girls I've watched have had struggles like I have had. And I just want to get it out there that if you're facing these struggles, you're not the only one. So let me just start off by saying, I promise I'm not saying this is how it's going to be. I had this wonderful guideline all typed up and I left it at work, but I did not want to wait another night to do this video. I've been meaning to do it for 3 nights now and I just keep forgetting. So if it's all over the place, I apologize. But I did a video at 8 weeks, so that touched on a lot of my first few weeks struggles with the soreness and the cracking and the engorgements and and the anxiety and stuff like that. And so those were my first struggles, and it was about week 4 or 5 that I was in so much pain that I was just going to give up. I was just going to quit. And my husband was like, "You're not quitting, honey." He said, "You've done the best that you can do. Look what a good start you've given him already." And to me, in my head, that's like, what the heck is wrong with you, you horrible person? I cannot believe you're going to quit, and look what you're doing, you selfish da da da. To me, that's how I felt, was like, I'm failing my child. Why can't I breastfeed? It's supposed to be this most natural, magical, painless thing to do. And here I am having all these struggles and all this pain, and I'm not sure what's going on. So I'm just like, I did not understand why I couldn't do it. And, but then it was like, I put my foot down and said, I'm going to do this. So I pushed through it and I stuck with it. And about the 6th week, things started getting really good. The pain was no more. I'm not going to say no more. It's always been tender for me. But it's not unbearable. And I can nurse without, cringing. So it did start getting better. I was able to breastfeed in public, which was yet another one of my biggest fears. That became more natural, and I've just got to the point where I'm like, I don't care. There's still a couple places I won't do it, like church and some restaurants, depending on where we are. I won't do it. I just don't feel that it's right to do that in church. So I start back to work, and I'm having to pump. Well, when I went back to work, I had this great, glorious stash in my freezer of like 30-some ounces saved up. And I thought I was rocking the world. I was doing great. And then I started noticing I kept going to my freezer stash and going to my freezer stash. I'm like, where's my stash going? What's going on? Why am I going through it so fast? And then I realized he's eating 4 to 5 ounces every 2 to 3 hours, and when I'm pumping at work, I'm only getting sometimes 2 ounces at a time in a 20-minute session. And I'm like, started freaking out yet again and stressing out about, I'm not producing enough milk. Why can't I do this? Why don't I have this glorious amount of milk supply? And so I started researching and trying to figure out how to boost my milk supply and all this crazy stuff. And so I started eating oatmeal every day. I started taking fenugreek and even that wasn't working. So I started researching more, and I found this product called Lactiful, and they sent me a product to try it, and I was on it for about 5 days. I did notice a difference, but it gave me and the baby both such horrible gas that the pains, I had to stop it. So then my supply started going back down, and I was like, I don't know, I just did not understand why I didn't have this glorified freezer full of milk like all these other girls I've seen. You know, why am I not producing? Why do I not have it? So after about 3 or 4 weeks of that, I come to the realization that I am going to have to supplement formula during the day. And then I just felt like, what the heck am I doing? You know, why am I having to give my child this poison? You know, to any breastfeeding mom, when you have to give your child formula, you just feel like you're giving them this god-awful stuff that's going to just, you know, make them kill over. But, and then the more I read and the more I read, the more it kept sticking out to me that pumping is not as effective as nursing. So I got to thinking, if I'm pumping, you know, 3 to 4 ounces at a time, usually when he nurses, I'm sure he's getting at least 4 to 5 ounces when he nurses. So I have come to be content with supplementing formula throughout the day. So what I'm doing is he's getting like 2.5 ounces of breast milk and 2 ounces of formula. So, and I'm okay with that because I know that he is still getting breast milk every time. So we've been doing that for about 2 months now, and things he's been doing great, you know. And then just the other day, I noticed at night, one night he didn't want to nurse on the right side. And so I thought, well, maybe he's just uncomfortable. So I switched him to the left, and he ate good. Well, I noticed about 30 minutes or so after he ate on that side, I started getting really tight in these pains, and I felt, and I had like a golf ball sized knot. And I was like, oh no, I've got a major clogged duct. So I went running to my bathroom, putting hot compresses on it, and I tried nursing him again. And he still wanted nothing to do with it. He was like fighting and like, what the heck is wrong? So I started to try to express, and nothing was coming out. So I was like, oh no. First thing I thought was mastitis, you know. So I put hot compresses on it. I even went to bed with a heating pad on it, thinking that the heat was going to relieve, you know, the pressure, and I was going to be able to nurse. So when I woke up for his first feeding at, I guess it was around 12:30, 1 o'clock, I tried nursing on that side, and the pain was so excruciating, I thought I was going to vomit. I literally thought I was going to vomit. So I stopped, and I just switched him back to the other side, and I said, I'll just deal with this in the morning. Then it was again about 3 o'clock when he woke up. I tried nursing again on that side because I know they say if you have a clogged duct or mastitis or whatever, you have to nurse. So I tried nursing again, but again, the pain. I mean, I've never felt pain like this ever, and so I nursed him on this side, and I got up then, and when I looked, I had this huge milk blister. I mean, it covered the entire top part of the nipple, so all of my nipple ducts were blocked, and no milk was coming out. And so I freak out. So yet again, I put the hottest compress. I think I scalded myself. And I just held it on there, and then I soaked my nipple with peroxide, because I've known peroxide, it is known that peroxide will eat away at skin, like bad skin. So I did that, and once I felt that it was soft enough, I took my fingernails and I just kind of popped it, and ooh, yeah, the pain. It was really, 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 really bad. So, but then I started pumping, and within 4 minutes I had 4 ounces. It was like relief on top of pain. I can't even explain it, but if anybody has had or gone through that, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so yet again, I have hit another road bump, a speed bump in my breastfeeding journey. And, you know, I get to thinking, you know, is it really worth continuing? I know it is, and I know the answer to it, but it's to the point that I have been through so much with my breastfeeding journey that I'm almost to the point of being tired. I am so tired of it. Not of it, but I'm tired of the struggles that I'm having to go through. So I just think, you know, have I done the best that I could do for him? And, you know, even though I may put him on formula, I know he'll be okay. But it's just, I get to thinking that I don't want to give up. I don't want to say that I was only able to nurse him for 5 months, or I was only able to nurse him for 6 months. I want to be one of these women who say, I nursed my child for a year, or I nursed him for 18 months. You know, I want to be able to be like that, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to stress myself about it. I don't want to go through this pain again. I don't want it to be a miserable experience and a miserable memory that, yeah, I was able to nurse for a year, but I was in pain and depressed the whole year I was doing it, you know. So it's such a decision that I'm struggling with right now, what to do. So, as of right now, what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to give it at least another month, because I do know about 6 months when they start eating more food. He is already on food, baby food and cereal. I've got him on the organic whole grain brown rice cereal, and I'm making his own baby food fruits, and so far he's had pears, bananas, and prunes. So he's doing really good on that, but I think I need to up the quantities. But anyway, I'm going to do this again for another month. I'm going to take it day by day, and I plan on going at least until 6 months, and hopefully by then the feedings will kind of decrease. And up until then, I think I'm going to give up one pumping session a day at work, because pumping, that is a whole nother video in itself. It's very inconvenient for my job, and it's very, I don't want to even say time consuming. I don't even know how to explain it, but it's just a big inconvenience for me at my work. And no, my doing what is best for my child is not an inconvenience, but I have to work in order to have and support my family, so therefore that is yet an inconvenience. So, but as of right now, I do plan on going through with it and at least going another month. And knowing that supplementing formula is going to be okay during the day while he's at the babysitter. So what I plan on doing, my grandmother watches him, so what I plan on doing is going to my, when I drop him off in the mornings, I'm going to nurse. And then because morning time you have so much milk, so much more milk, I'm going to pump once during the morning. And then I get to go there at lunch, so I will also feed him. I'll nurse him at lunchtime. And then I'm going to try to go all afternoon without pumping. And for that afternoon feeding, she can just give him a bottle. And a bottle of formula. And I will be okay with that. I have really, it doesn't bother me when I think that I'm going to be giving my child formula. It doesn't bother me anymore. So I know that I'm okay with it. But anyway, and then I'll just nurse him in the evening time. Tonight, I gave him cereal and pears, and then 3 ounces of formula, and then I nursed him to sleep. And he has been asleep in his bed now for about an hour and a half. And that's another thing I'm doing, is trying to get him to sleep in his bed. So we're seeing how that's going to go tonight. But anyway, that has been my breastfeeding journey. I am so sorry this video is so long. I might even have to break it up into 2 parts. So if I do, I apologize for that. But thank you all for listening. Bye.